Hello, this is Adam with .com Reps again, and today we're going to talk about subscribe and save in a one take. So we're going to go through what subscribe and save is, um, why it's important for any seller that has a product that lends itself to a reoccurring purchase, and why the customer loves it, and why you should be participating in it, honestly. So subscribe and save is primarily a subscription-based programmatic ordering that the customer can select. The customer has access to this subscribe and save menu or preferences inside of their app or in the settings within their Amazon account. So things like toilet paper, paper towels, soap, shampoos, laundry detergent, dish detergent, vitamins, batteries, cleaning wipes. These are all household items that most households in America need to reorder on a regular basis. And that cadence is determined by the customer. So it can be weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, every few months, what have you. The more items that are added to the subscription preferences for each customer account, the larger the discount per month on the basket of goods. So we're here on the landing page on Amazon for subscribe and save, just as a demonstration. It kind of walks through some of the perks, how it works, the fact that if the customer has 5 or more items in one auto delivery, they can get up to 15% off. Now, some of this is contingent on the settings by the seller of the products, whether that they've offered the maximum discounts or minimum discounts. But assuming they've done maximum discounts, you can save quite a bit of money as a consumer if you bundle these items and have 5 or more products in one auto delivery to one address. It is pretty easy to manage. They go through the different categories. You can select things here. These are some regulars. I imagine these brands are sponsoring the program. So if we want to learn a little bit more, there's some FAQs here. And again, we're going to talk about what the customer sees first and then talk about, on the seller side. So you can manage your subscriptions. The customer can go into an item and, for example, find eligible items. So we'll open up a new links and we'll go through some items. So these are all probably popular products that have a subscription, and you can see the subscription levels, 5 and 15. This one's got 5 and 15, 10 and 15, 10 and 15. So from the product detail page, you'll see in the buy box, this is this area in the right quadrant of the detail page. Customer can do a one-time purchase, $14.98, or they can subscribe, and at a 10% discount, this assumes the base because it can't assume that you're going to have 5 or more items in the delivery. You'll pay $13.48. No fees, cancel anytime, which you can, and it talks about the delivery premise here. So you can see there is a little bit of a savings, 10% between one-time and reoccurring. You would select this option when you set up, and it would walk you through the checkout process and all that. Confirm the subscription, yada hoo. There's then a page where you can manage all of your subscriptions, and you'll see this on the back end inside of your order. I can't see it because I'm not logged in, but on the back end, let's say if you've added multiple subscriptions, you'll see the dates at which those are expected to arrive to you as the customer, what they are. You can pick the time of month, first week of April, the 10th of every month, whatever it is. Some items, let's say if you're buying a case of paper towels, like 100 rolls of paper towels, you're not going to need that every month. So you could select every 3 months or every 6 months. So every item is going to have a different cadence depending on how frequent the customer uses those items. So if we're going to go back to, the subscribe and save product page and go through some of the other options. You know, there's a lot of different products here. Nearly everything, and even products that don't necessarily seem like they would be something you'd buy on a recurring basis, you know, can have a subscribe and save discount. You can reach customer service in the event the customer can't figure out how to modify those subscriptions. Oftentimes, as a seller, you'll get notices or messages from the customer saying they've got this item, they didn't want it, how do I shut it off, whatever. So you do, as a seller, need to learn how to direct that customer back to customer service in order to modify their subscriptions, because you can't physically modify their subscriptions for the customer. The customer needs to do that from within their seller account. So always direct them back to customer service, the 1-800 number in the app, whatever. Okay, so let's talk about subscribe and save from the seller standpoint. And we'll go back to some of these other items. We'll pick something. So, you know, I think 1-A-Day Women's is probably a good example because it's a vitamin. It's likely going to be reordered on a monthly cadence. So this item, 20,000 purchases in the last 30 days. That's a big number. And you can see here the seller has an incentive, 20% off first subscribe and save order, if they subscribe to this order. So they know this type of product, they need a base of sales and a foundation of sales, and that foundation is your recurring revenue, which are your subscriptions. So I would have expected that this type of a product would encourage the subscription model because that is how they grow their sales. It is also a great way to keep their sales, right? Every month they're going to have the same sales, and they don't have to be concerned about advertising, which they undoubtedly are, and having the same clients click on ads on a recurring basis, right? So they click on the ad one time, they find the product, they subscribe, that's the end of it. It doesn't lend themselves to repeat clicks on their ads accidentally by people reordering that don't know how to go in through their, manage order menu, and they go back into search for it and click on an ad, right? So you eliminate that whole kit and caboodle and expense by encouraging the subscribe and save. So they give them a coupon, right? They also have a 15% max discount here, which you can select those settings from inside your subscribe and save in Seller Central. So in Seller Central, on the left-hand pane, there's going to be menu. I believe you can go to growth or one of those sub-menus, and then the program for subscribe and save. You could also search for it in the help section within Seller Central, and you'll find the subscribe and save menu. From in the menu, you can pick all of your different items, everything in your catalog, and enroll and disenroll items in subscribe and save, and also modify the discount level on the fly. 0, 5%, 10%, what have you. So you may be asking yourself, $16 item, $17 item, how can they afford to give 20% off and then also the funding for the subscribe and save and then all the other Amazon fees, which, by the way, don't change? That's because you do not make your money on the first unit sold. You make your money on the subsequent revenue, the reorders. And if you have a great product, those could be in perpetuity, it could be for a year, whatever. You need to look at this from a longevity standpoint and seriously consider subscribe and save, because this is how you grow your relevance, you increase your sell-through. The more you sell, the more relevant you are to the rest of the search engine on Amazon, and the way that the discovery works and the relevance, it ties into, as I mentioned, your ad performance. So it is in your best interest to take subscribe and save seriously, experiment with different promotions and subscribe and save coupons, maximize the discount, and really have the rest of the product page encourage that sort of reoccurring buy. Whether it's a messaging or a leaflet or something in with the product, you want them to buy this product. So get to the landing page. The content is excellent. They made a compelling message or call to action why you should buy this item and why you should subscribe, and build that base. So of these 20,000 orders in a month, I bet you 30% or more of these sales are subscriptions. So that's how serious you need to take this. If you are, again, supplements, anything in beauty, health, personal care, or even basic household items, toothpastes, and things of that nature. Hopefully this video has helped you. If you need additional help, or if you want to talk about catalog management or content management or promotional strategy or anything like that, reach out to .comreps, www.comreps.com. My name is Adam Wilkins. I'm the founder. I've been doing this for 17 years. And we lean heavy into Amazon. We help brands big and small every day of the week manage these problems, work through strategies, and increase your sales on Amazon. Leave any comments below, and hopefully you subscribe to the channel. Thank you.